Good morning, class. Welcome to our session again. I hope you enjoyed your unit test and very comfortable doing it. So now let's proceed with our portion. Now we are going to begin with unit 2. In that, the first lesson is a poem 2.1 named Invictus. Now let us understand what the poet tries to teach us through his poem Invictus. Now before we actually land up to understand the poem, children, we need to understand the background. So to make us understand or familiar, he has put up certain questions to us as a warming up. In that he has asked, when you are faced with a very serious problem or some grave danger, what do you experience? Now he has described our feelings also and our reactions, and some of them are listed below. Among your feelings, some may panic, or some may wish that they were never born. Some may feel helplessness, hopelessness, or no emotion at all. Some experience calmness and composure, while someone may be willing to tackle it. Some people prefer or they react in a particular manner, like they may break down and cry, or run away and hide, pray to God, ask for help, build up courage and take it as a challenge. Now these are the things which sum up to our behavior, which we tend to behave in that particular manner when we need to face a grave situation. Now all this tells us, children, that we are going to prepare ourselves, or we are in a situation where we need to face a difficult situation in our life. Before we understand the poem, children, we need to understand the background in which, or the circumstances in which the poet was when he happened to write this poem. So let us have a background to the poem. Now background says, many scholars believe Hanley wrote this poem about himself while lying in a hospital bed. He was sick as a young boy, which later resulted in him contracting an infection that spread to his leg. The leg was amputated. The doctors thought they would have to do the same to the other leg as well. But Hanley persuaded another doctor to try a new treatment that was able to prevent amputation. Children, amputation here means action of surgically cutting off the limb, like your leg being cut off. Now he was so severely ill, children, that infection spread to his legs. The infection had spread so very much into his body that his leg had no other option but it had to be amputated or cut off. Now it was okay, person may be able to bear the loss of one leg, but the situation became still worse when he learned that doctors said that infection was spreading so fast into his body that they may have to cut off his other leg also. Now poet was already into the sorry state, or he was feeling very sad for himself. He was not able to take the loss of his one leg, and where the doctors announced that they may have to do with his other leg as well, which he was not at all comfortable to hear with. So this was the tough situation, children, when he happened to write this poem. So we understood the background of the poem. We have also seen the warming up session. So we'll begin with explanation after a short break. Welcome back, children. Now let us go through the poem and see what the poet is trying to tell us. Invictus by William Ernest Henley. In the paragraph, out of the night that covers me, black as spit from pole to pole, I thank whatever gods may be for my unconquerable soul. Invictus here means unconquered, children, and pit here means a large deep hole in the ground. Now through these lines, the poet tries to tell us that, that the night refers to actually represent any quandary in which the speaker finds himself. Quandary means the difficult situation, children. Okay, out of the night. Here night represents the difficult situation which the poet is in. Okay, now we need to understand the other meaning of the night also, children. Okay, because night, since it is dark and one cannot see, so it is very much easy for horrible things to happen, particularly when the night is black as a pit. Right, now here Hanley puts a stress on the word pit. Now pit, already as we discussed, means a large deep hole in the ground. Similarly, he also says that the night is compared to the pit, which is equal to the darkness of the night to this hole, right? That is a comparison between the night and the pit, that is the hole on the ground. Now he chose to capitalize pit. He has a special intention of capitalizing the word pit over here, because he makes a reference of a pit with the hell also. Hell is something very unpleasant, children, which no one desires, no one wants to be there. Okay, so which is also considered to be the bleakest and the blackest. Now by using the phrases from pole to pole, he means that every corner of the world. Okay, from one end of the world to the other end. So that's the meaning of the word from pole to pole. In the other two lines, I thank whatever gods may be for my unconquerable soul. Here Hanley says that he is specially thankful to the God, or he takes time to thank them for giving him a soul that cannot be conquered. Okay, which cannot be conquered. That means he is not able to give up. Moving ahead to the next paragraph. In the fell clutch of circumstance, I have not winced nor cried aloud. Under the bludgeonings of chance, my head is bloody but unbowed. Now, in the first two lines of this paragraph, speaker has not allowed himself to become a victim of events that have transpired in his life, that has happened in his life. In these lines, Hanley personifies circumstances, giving it a human-like qualities to show just how tightly the events of one's life can take hold. Throughout all that he has been dealt, the speaker has not cried about what has happened. He does not admit, however, in the next two lines that he has not emerged unscathed. While he may have physical scars, he has never bowed his head in defeat. Instead, he has kept it held high. So that is the meaning of these two lines, children. Hope we have all understood. So we shall be back again after a small break. Yes, children, let's begin with another paragraph in the poem. Beyond this place of wrath and tears, looms but the horror of shade, and yet the menace of the years finds and shall find me unafraid. Wrath here means anger, looms hangs overhead, menace threat, horror of shade here means it refers to death. Now in this paragraph, poet says it takes a darker turn for the speaker to refer to an afterlife that is filled with horror. Now in the first two lines of the paragraph, the speaker seems to be saying here that he knows that what he has endured in his life is nothing compared to what lies ahead in shade. Now shade here means it is a reference to death. Again he tells his reader that he does not fear anything, and last two lines in the paragraph, the speaker is telling us that he will remain fearless even in the face of death, and comes what after that. In other words, children, he simply means to say that whatever experiences he has encountered while he was alive, he's made him so bold, he's made him so strong that he does not fear death also now. Okay, the number of years of experience in struggle and pain has made him so strong that now he doesn't fear whatever may happen after death also. He is not afraid. Horror of shade means the situation which refers to death. Even if he has to encounter death and he may have to encounter anything after that, he is not afraid of all that. He has become that strong. Moving ahead with the next para. It matters not how straight the gate, how charged with punishments the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. Now in this paragraph, this word straight means narrow, tight or difficult. Means very narrow. The road, the way, path. Now this actually is a biblical allusion to the saying, straight is the gate, a narrow, the way that leads to eternal life. Like we say, the way to heaven, like how you go to heaven or how you may go to hell, which is the situation after death, children. The scroll is a metaphor. It can say it's a comparison with the law. Okay, so it does not matter how straight the gate, it doesn't matter how narrow the gate is, how difficult the gate is to the way to the heaven, you may say. How charged with punishment the scroll. Now this comes, children, when we, like after that situation, like, when we say that you have to be justified, like, the judgment is made whether you are going to go to hell or you are going to go to hell. So that is what he is telling. How charged the punishments, how charged with punishments the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. Okay. Now here he is referring himself as a captain, but also commenting that it does not matter how narrow the path is to the gates of afterlife. He will make it with no problem. And when he is being judged, no matter how many punishments are listed, he will have decided his fate and he will have steered his own course. The last two lines are considered to be some of the most famous lines in all of the literature, and they are continued source of inspiration for people in all walks of life. It's a beautiful poem, children. Hope you all have enjoyed it and understood it very well. Okay, so we shall be back soon in the next session. Thank you.